All right, everybody, welcome back to the podcast Retro Life for You, movies in the 1980s. And we are in the last stretch of our month of Christmas movies. We've had previously, Travis, we've had what? Gremlins, Christmas Vacation, and last week it was Ernest Saves
Ernest
Christmas.
Saves Christmas.
So we've had a little bit of I don't want to, it's hard for me to call Gremlins horror, but people were
Right.
asking for it at Halloween. So, I mean, maybe a little bit of a funny, scary, maybe little tiny horror bit for Gremlins.
It's like the Nightmare Before Christmas. I think it works for both.
Yeah, and then we had the funny movie of Christmas Vacation. You know, the Griswolds are always funny. Ernest Saves Christmas was my first time watching an Ernest movie, as I told you last week, and it has it has good points in it. I mean, it has the good, kind of like the good feel kind of thing at the end. Has I don't want to say lessons in it like life lessons, but it has a meaning behind it though.
Hmm.
Ernest movies typically, from what I understand, each of the movies bring something different that is a meaningful thing for people and everything. So I haven't seen
True.
the others, so I can't say that. You could probably say it. You've seen the other movies, I believe, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah. They're
So
all they're all like that.
last movie we're doing is Christmas Comes to Willow Creek. That's what we're doing today. It's something that I've liked watching before. The first time Travis has seen it, so
Yes.
I've seen it several times. It's not one that I've watched 500 times. I don't watch it every year when Christmas comes around. It's not like Christmas Story for me or something like that. But if it's on TV and I've got nothing else going on, I would watch it or something.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's a thing for me is because I grew up watching and loving the Dukes of Hazzard. So the ones that play the Duke boys, the Tom Wopat and John Schneider, are starring in this movie as brothers.
Hmm.
And so it kind of took for me at that point, and I watched it, and I kind of liked it. It's got a little feel good thing to it. It's like last year we did Prancer, and Prancer is one of those kind of feel good kind of Christmas movies.
Yeah. Got to
And when
squeeze one of them. There was talking about earlier. Got to squeeze one of them Hallmark movies in there every now and then.
yeah, I told Travis I felt like I was a step away from starting to watch Hallmark movies now. So um, make my mom proud, I guess. Probably her and my sister. They'll
Yeah.
be like, "Hey, let's all get together and watch Hallmark this year."
Right. I was out, and that's what I was saying too. I watched this with my mom tonight, and I mean, we enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it's a bad movie by any means.
It's not a bad movie. I would say it's definitely good for a one time watch for sure.
Hmm.
If you just want to see something around this time of year, that's kind of a little feel good kind of movie where it serves a purpose. Like they're going to take they're trying to make sure this small town in Alaska gets Christmas to it for the kids and everything. And the town is holding out for like a Christmas miracle of some sort because the town is shutting down. It's falling apart and it's about to shut down basically. So
The
it's
cannery left.
yeah, it's just one of them kind of things. So just to give you a quick synopsis of it, not like I haven't said much about it already, but the way it describes it, it says Christmas Comes to Willow Creek is a heartwarming holiday TV movie. It was a made for TV movie that tells the story of two estranged brothers, Ray and Pete, who are forced to come together for a Christmas mission. Tasked by their boss, Al Bensinger, to drive a truckload of supplies to the struggling Alaskan town of Willow Creek. The brothers embark on a snowy road trip and it becomes a journey of reconciliation and rediscovery. Ray, the rebellious brother, is joined by his pregnant girlfriend, Jessie, while Pete, the more responsible sibling, struggles to reconnect with Ray after years of tension. And we'll get to that in a minute while they have tension. As they navigate harsh weather and personal conflicts, they learn valuable lessons about family forgiveness and the true meaning of Christmas. And also, along with the ride is uh, one of them's kid.
That would be
The
Pete's kid.
Yeah, Pete's kid. Ray's the one that has the pregnant girlfriend. Pete's kid. Speaking of rebellious, a handful, a lot of trouble. Uh, Kind of a typical teenager who doesn't have what they consider to be like a lot of parental guidance at home. We'll say the mom had
Right.
run. Now I don't remember. Did the mom run out on him or did she die? Do you remember?
I think she left because all
That's
they said was she left.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. It sounded like she just picked up and left or something. And when that happened, it kind of put a dagger between the two of them too, in a sense, to
Right.
where he found it hard to get along with his son because almost like his son resented him, thinking that he was the reason why the mom left.
Well, that he being a truck driver, he was gone all the time and all that.
right? Always on the road, even at especially at Christmas time, gone and on the road. And this
Hmm.
would be the first year that he had not been on the road for Christmas. He was going to stay home with him. And that didn't quite work out because of this mission they got put on them by none other than Hoyt Axton. I believe I told you a few weeks ago we had a second movie coming up with Hoyt Axton in it twice
Yeah,
a month. I mean, how about that? Uh,
ain't that
the owner
something?
of the trucking business that they work
Yeah,
for. So he was going to take the truck himself. He's having heart problems, it looks like, and can't really make the trip. So he enlists the help of them two in hopes that the two of them can also patch up their differences while on the road, pulling this little Christmas miracle off for the kids and everything. So that's one part of the plot here toward the end there, as far as what they hope to accomplish anyway. Um, being this is your first time watching it, Travis, would you kind of think about how things started out and the reason why the brothers weren't getting along and taking this road trip together? That's kind of a weird deal, you know. I mean, as bad off as they've been with each other, and they're going to make this long trip to Alaska. And,
right. And especially concerning what it was. So, uh, Pete had started dating Jesse, and then Jesse told him basically at one point that she didn't love him, and then
Mhm.
she went after. Well, they say the whole thing is Ray stole Jesse from Pete, but she kind of went after Ray. I mean, he was flirting with her, but she kind of went after him. So then they fell in love and got married and all. And then yeah, so I mean that's a wild one and right off the bat. Like you said, gonna go ahead and make this big old trip together, and but they was fighting with each other like it wasn't. I don't know. It was a little bit weird, but honestly, the parts with Tom Wopat and John Schneider, even though the preface was weird, I enjoyed it. Like I
Mhm.
completely enjoyed their time on screen, but when it
Well,
was
they have a
cut
good
back,
natural
you need
chemistry
the
together,
story. Absolutely, but you need the story of what's going on with the town to make the movie make sense, to make the plot work.
right? Mhm.
But every time every time that I think what got me was every time that they weren't on screen, I lost interest in the movie.
And see, and the whole point of the movie, like you said, was getting to know like the story of the town, and it would
Right,
flash back over to the town and what was going on there, whether it be the kids seeing Santa Claus, the town Santa Claus, and telling them what they wanted, or whether it be the town council meeting talking about the upcoming death of the town because there's nothing there to support them anymore as far as I don't know, finances and income and everything. And there was a cannery there that shut down and left, and now there's
and
nothing else there really.
they were trying to get a lumber yard to come in, and then the mayor got the letter, the lumber yard backed out of coming in.
Right. And they were going to have to announce that, this was pretty much, the end of the town at that
Yeah,
point. Now, I don't know what that means as far as people living there. Could they still live there? Would they have to move or what? But I mean,
right.
if
Because
there's nothing,
it was a town out in South Alaska, but I mean they're still in Alaska. It's kind
Mhm.
of cut off from the rest of the world, especially when
Right.
blizzards come through and certain times of the year and whatnot.
And if there's nothing coming through there money wise flowing through, then no one's got money to buy things with. So any of the local stores that were open there is not making any money because no one in town is coming there to shop. And then the stores
Right.
will go under, and then next thing you know, they're closing down and moving out. Then there's no reason to live there at that point anymore, for
Yep.
sure. So it's like a trickle down effect working. Starting with everybody this leaving and this not coming in, having to get this bad news, and they're really hoping on something big happening, and that's what the character that Hoyt Axton plays, I think is Al was his name. Al was trying to send these two brothers up there to deliver this on time. It has to be there on time by Christmas Day. Very important. And there's something in the very front of the truck, of the trailer, that's shut off that you can't see because of everything else that's in front being delivered there. And he says
Right.
it's very important that you guys are the ones to take this.
Hmm.
So they have Tom Wopat drive his truck instead of the other one drive his because ultimately at the end you see why he drove his truck. He's going to leave and go back home.
Right.
The other one ends up staying with his the girl and everything. Um, some of the key plot points to the movie. there's a mission involved. Of course, Al Bensinger has sent them on the mission to deliver these supplies desperately needed to a once thriving town that's now facing hard times. That's
Mhm.
your kind of Christmas event right there. They're having hard times, they're struggling, they need help, and what better time of the year to give than Christmas? And he's sending all these things there. You got the sibling rivalry between the two brothers, and this journey forces them to confront their issues.
Yep.
Um, and throughout the whole trip there, several times they come close to fighting, but really don't. And they argue a lot. But the role of which is Jesse's role, Jesse provides the emotional balance to the brothers, which adds stakes with her pregnancy because she's pregnant and they didn't know she was pregnant. The last time she had talked to um, his character, she was basically she had some news for him, but she wouldn't tell him what it was. And then they end up splitting up. She leaves him basically and goes somewhere. She doesn't want to talk to him anymore. But
Well,
it's
it
all
wasn't that.
because
Was it that she didn't tell him what it was, or was it that he kind of ruined the moment and that
he
she
ruined
just,
the moment. He
you know what
did.
I mean?
He ruined everything because she had something exciting to tell him, and he was like, "Oh no, you're not pregnant, are you? No, you can't be
Right.
pregnant." It's like because he didn't really want. He had told her he didn't want kids. He just wanted to be
Exactly.
married to her. He didn't want to have kids or anything. And now this has happened. And since he has said all this and reiterated all this to her, she didn't. He was like, "Well, you're going to tell me you're pregnant, right?" And she said, "I never told you I was pregnant. You just kind of
Yeah.
assumed it, and was she was going to tell him though. Well, he
Right.
comes now. He
She
comes to
because
find
what she
out.
said was, "You better sit down," and as soon as she told him, "You better sit down," he flipped out.
Right, right. And of course, this is 9 months down the road now. When all this is happening, and she is pregnant, and yes, it's his. The plot about the town struggle, which is based upon the next point, which is the Christmas miracle. The town is struggling. It's on its last breath. It needs serious help. And this
Mhm.
Christmas miracle that Al has brought to them is going to fix everything for them, which gives
Oh,
you the good ending, the little heartfelt ending that ties everything in with a nice little bow and everything. Um, just want to go over real quick some of the people that's in it. We mentioned Schneider and Wopat. They are the
right.
ones that played in the Dukes of Hazzard, Bo and Luke Duke. Last week it wasn't last week. A few weeks ago, we touched on Hoyt Axton, the
Yep.
little bit of a country singer, writer,
Oh,
songwriter,
boy.
and but he was in Gremlins and in a couple of other things over the years, some variety shows and such. Kim Delaney plays the role of Jessie,
Mhm.
and I'm wondering if she's a sister to Dana Delaney.
Who is Dana?
I think Dana Delaney was in Tombstone or
Oh,
China Beach, one of the two. I forget how this goes. I'm looking right now. I just pulled her stuff up here and tells who her mom and dad is. Let's see if it mentions any siblings or anything.
now we would think
Well, she has four
you would.
brothers who are
Yeah.
older. Yeah, it doesn't list anything about a sister. So I mean,
Yeah.
apparently she did not have a sister named, or I wonder if they're related in any way though. Still,
Yeah. I don't know. We're gonna have to start getting us little fact sheets together, so we're not looking it up in the middle of the podcast. So then we know. Seem like we're informed about stuff.
half the fun is looking it up during the podcast. All
I
right, it's like
know, right?
we're real time people, man. We're real
Yeah,
time, day of kind of because
for
we're
sure.
too lazy to look during the week kind of people. I mean, that's what we
Yeah,
are.
I would. I don't think it's laziness. I think it's just ain't got no time.
It could be that. It could be
Be
some of that
busy.
too. It could definitely be some
Be
of that.
busy, man.
Anyway, um, was she in the was this the girl that was in Tombstone?
Yes,
Kim Delaney?
yes.
Are you sure? Are you looking at it?
No, I'm not looking at it, but I'm positive she is.
Well, I definitely know it's one of the Delaney's. We'll say that for sure. But if it is hers, it doesn't list hers being known for it. That's for sure.
No, well, maybe it ain't her then.
See, that's what you see. Now that you can't be for sure, now you make me have to look. So you're supposed to know these things. You're supposed to be the rock of the show, man.
Sometimes I am, but stuff like this one. I don't know her that
But you know what? This is the girl I was thinking of. It's not China Beach I was thinking of. It's Tour of Duty. She was in Tour of Duty.
well. Okay,
I don't know if you remember that TV show or not from '89. You were you'd
a
been nine
little
years
bit.
old.
Yeah, my dad used to love it.
Yeah, so if you watched it, that'd be different. She is not the person, however, I can see. Let me go. Tombstone was what, 90s?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not seeing her in Tombstone. So she's in Mission to Mars. If you were seeing that and liked it,
Mission to Mars.
Mission to Mars. Well, that satisfies my curiosity. She was not in that movie. Anyway, all right.
You gotta say, pull that up for me, Jamie.
The rest of them I'm not going to talk much about because I don't know them anyway from anything else. We had Zachary Ansley that played Michael. He might have been the son. I think that was him. Charlotte, which is the old lady from the town that he kept in touch with on the trip there, was played by Joey Coghill. And Homer
Dana
Hyde.
Delaney was indeed.
She was the one in Tombstone. Dana Delaney
Tombstone.
was.
Dana, indeed. She was Josephine.
Right.
Indeed.
Dwight Cost plays the mayor, and I really don't see anything else here, anybody else that sticks out to mention. So I'm not going to go down into them. If you have any more interest in anybody that played in the movie, just pull it up on IMDb where I'm looking here, and you can see all of them listed. See their individual histories they have and all that good stuff. So
yeah, don't know what a lot going on. Like I said too, this is a made-for-TV movie too. So
yeah, so you kind of get, I mean, career actors in a way. It's not really a lot of stars. It's not usually just the people that they've been in a few TV shows here and there consistently or something, and then they get a big TV movie and then they go on to once again Hallmark or something.
Right.
Anywho, so in your opinion, how does Christmas Come to Willow Creek kind of stand out from other holiday movies?
Probably the fact that it had a little bit of the vibe as far as having the country boys running across America. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeehaw.
The bar fight. Like I saw the bar fight coming a mile away.
Yeah,
I thought, oh, we got to have a bar fight. I said it wouldn't be a country boy movie without a bar fight.
there's a bar fight and then a can we step outside fight too.
Yeah,
At the rest at a little restaurant.
I think for the time too, it's not like buddy, like you had the buddy cop stuff and the other things, but you know what I mean. Like the two men in the dynamic of the relationship between them, I think stands out a little bit. You got two brothers and then the son, and then he's more like the uncle and getting along with the uncle who's Ray,
right.
and just a little bit of the dynamic, and then playing on the probably the Smokey and 1987, probably playing on a little bit of the Smokey and the Bandit success as far as driving a truck. We liked trucker movies back then. How do
Smoking
you
the
feel like it
Bandit.
stood
Smoking the
out?
Bandit was I don't know about Smoking the Bandit part though, because that was like 10 years earlier.
Yeah.
So Bandit came out in 77.
Okay.
But I mean, when you
Take
get
it.
those two kind of guys in there though, you still feel like that kind of feel though, where you could see it. You could see the
Yeah.
Dukes of Hazzard in it. You could see some Smoking the Bandit possibly in it. You could
Mhm.
anything that feels country-ish because
Well, I
they've
think
been
what
given
stood
that
out.
label.
Actually, let me change that. What stood out to me the absolute most about this is I never thought in a million years that Magnum TA and Lee Greenwood would team up and do a movie. 'Cause I'm gonna tell you now,
That
that
mullet.
mustache, dude, that mustache and that mullet, I'm
Yeah.
not kidding. Like John Schneider looked just like Magnum TA, and Tom Wopat looked just like Lee Greenwood.
Oh, Lee Greenwood with a little fro going of sorts. Um,
They still
uh,
look like it.
and for those of you who don't know who Magnum TA is, just look up some old school NWA wrestling. You'll see
Yeah.
who that was. I could definitely see that. That's hilarious. For me, what made as far as standing out from other holiday movies in '87, I mean, we had a few good movies around that time and before, but it stands out to me because of watching. Um, I'm sorry, I got distracted for a second. I saw this thing pop up on the side of the screen.
Well,
Um,
it goes back.
hold up, hold up. Um, the thing that I'm sorry, the thing that stood out to me was because I was so used to watching Dukes of Hazzard growing up, watching those two people play different characters and still play something like family because they get that good vibe together. Standing out in a movie on television for me was what made it different from a lot of other movies. Most
Right.
other movies that were big at the time for Christmas were, to the big screen. I mean,
Yeah.
not to the TV screen. So, I mean, that's what most people talked about. But this movie really had a good feel to it, a good story to it, and the acting wasn't bad in it. Uh, it didn't exactly have a lot of music involved in it. There was like one country song I think that popped up in it about babies and bar stools not going together or something like that.
Yeah.
And then
I actually enjoyed that song a little bit there.
now I believe Travis has a screenshot he wants to put up. It looks like, is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, hold on.
Used to
So we
being on
got
StreamYard to where I can do it, but you got to do it now.
yeah, we got these two guys right here. That's Magnum TA on the left, and
Yeah.
Lee Greenwood, Lee Greenwood with a little bit more hair on the right.
Now tell me you don't look like Lee Greenwood though.
Oh my gosh, that's
Heck yeah.
but you know what? He looks more like Luke Duke than the other one looks than the other one looks a lot less like Bo Duke now in that picture.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's the hair throwing him off big time. And Luke Duke just looks the same, but he got a beard.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. That is crazy. I don't know why you weren't able to do that. You're on here as a team member. You should be able to have rights to everything else too. So I don't know. We'll have to
Yeah.
figure that out.
Maybe I just didn't know how.
I don't know, but we'll have to figure it out. We'll do it. No, I don't know if you can see the same screen that I see. I'll ask you after the stream's over with. We'll see what it looks like and compare it.
Yeah.
Um, so we're not going to go with this next question. We basically answered this next question when we answered the first one. So
Hmm.
that would be kind of silly. What do you think about the relationship though between Ray and Pete's characters? It's a big sibling rivalry. Did it feel? Did they do a good job for you in that movie, making it feel realistic? I mean, to me it did because they had this disdain for each other. It seemed like the whole time until the baby was born, and they finally seemed like they finally had a fight over it. Is what it comes down to, and they're
Yeah.
knocking each other around, saying this is for this is for that. And once
Yeah.
the fight's over with, that's it. They're laughing. They're they're
Yeah.
they're
They're good.
okay with each other. They're cool now. They got it out of their system.
See, that just shows the values, man. That just shows the value. Sometimes you need to just fight it out. Sometimes you just need to do that. That's one of the things that I think is wrong. That's one of the things that I think is an incorrect way to handle things these days too. How I mean, we're gonna put kids in jail for fighting. Like nah, man. Let people throw hands, bro. Let them work it out. As long as it's throwing hands. And see, that was part of being a man back in the day too. That's me growing up. It's like one of the big things was we go out in the yard and fight about it, and then have a beer afterwards. You hear that all the time from the older
Right.
generation.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think that made it real. I think that made it believable, and then at the same time, it truly emphasized because as you go through the movie and you're watching the flashbacks and all, and then through the conversations with Ray and Michael, his nephew, you learn about their character and how they learn about it. So even if you couldn't grasp um, the characters' personalities, they laid it out for you in black and white pretty much, and it really showcased Tom's maturity and the way he was, like the bigger man or the better son or whatever, and with her telling him that she didn't love him, and then him just kind of accepting that. You know what I mean? Like, and then he unfortunately took a lot of it out on his son, unintentionally through not treating him bad, but not really treating him good either. More of a what would you call it, negligence type thing. Like he just kind of ignored him and didn't really pay much attention to him other than to get on to him or whatever.
Yeah.
And then yeah, but yeah, I think they did well with it. Especially because he tried to fight him like 3 times in the movie, and he's like, "I'm not fighting you. I'm not fighting you." And then finally he did.
he didn't do much fighting at all. I mean, even when it comes to the
Mm,
point in that little restaurant where the two truckers were kind of hounding the girls,
yeah.
trying to really
Yeah,
want
that's what
trying
Michael
to.
told him. He said, "You wouldn't have done that in a million years."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He wasn't fighting. That was just another moment in front of his son where like he feels the son feels like he let him down because you didn't get up to help those women out. You know that would have been something as
Mhm,
a heroic by the father for him to do because
mhm.
he's defending people. But he had no part in that. It was always that it was the uncle again. Now he
Yeah.
stands out even better for him and everything. Um, uh, TV holiday movies. I mean, how do you think they compare to? I don't know if I want to say today's Christmas films or if I really want to say um, theatrical release Christmas films because
And what capacity?
made for TV movies have to be made differently for one thing because you got commercial breaks and everything they're going to go through and it's not going to there's certain things you just can't put on television, right? What you can put
Mm.
on a movie going to the theater and everything. But how do you feel about the made for TV holiday movies compared to Christmas films that go straight to the movie theaters? Do you have a preference of one over the other? Do you think it's not really
It
worthwhile
depends on
making those
what
Christmas movies because
it depends on what it is. Like if Jingle All the Way had been put straight on TV, it wouldn't be the same movie. But then again,
but you know what? Hold on, Jingle. I don't know if that's a good example of one. I know what you're getting at though, but Jingle All the Way. If you think about it, you could easily have made that a made for TV movie.
it
There's
wouldn't have
not
been the
a
same.
there's not a
Where are
lot
you
of
going to get the
cussing in
budget?
it.
But where are you going to get the budget to pay for Arnold and Sinbad and all that? They're not going to do
Well,
at the time. They weren't going to do a
that's
made for TV movie.
well. See, that's just saying that, and that's up to them though. Completely, they could have the opportunity to do it, and they may want to do it. And let's just say that they, for sake of argument, that they did it. That the
Mhm,
money for getting them to do it wasn't an option because they had nothing else going on at the time, and we know that's wrong because in '87 Arnold was on fire. He was
mhm,
doing all kind of good stuff. That's it. I think it's the year Predator came out too.
mhm.
But let's just say some other time that when Jingle All the Way came out, I mean, like I said, salaries put aside, you got them on, and you made a TV movie of that. I think it would work out fine based on the storyline of what it's about.
So
And
what criteria are you going off of then? Because that's why. Because like I said, if that had a if that movie in particular, the way it was made with the people who were in it came out on TV, it wouldn't be the same. But not if you're talking about budgeting for special effects and stuff, well, that might be a different
not
story.
really talking about budgeting for special effects. It's just that if you had a preference, I guess, would you just prefer to watch the big screen movies, the Christmas
No,
movies, or do you like some of these made for TV holiday
no,
movies?
I wouldn't have a preference at all because, like I said, when you get into the realm of that of made for TV versus theatrical releases, normally it's made for TV because of the smaller budget. Um, so no, not at all. That's what I was about to say. Was there's actually lots of Christmas movies that are made for TV that are phenomenal. Um,
Hmm.
we made a joke about the Hallmark Channel, but I've watched many movies from the Hallmark Channel with my wife that are phenomenal. We loved, you know what I mean? So and the caliber of the acting and the production and everything else looked fine. But now, you know, look at your Power Rangers movies versus your Power Rangers on TV. You know what I mean? There's a clear difference there. Even the first one, not the new one, like the first one that actually had the Power Rangers from the TV on it, like it was the production value was higher, so it made it different. But as far as like storylines and um, how well the movie is made or whatever, no, I don't really have a preference. If it's a good story, it's a good story. I watch a lot of B movie, um, like fantasy type movies and horror movies, and my daughter and I have sat watching horror movies before and been like, if this had some money behind it, this would be an amazing movie. So
I
yeah, I don't
I
care for
think
made
there's a lot of people out there though they have this main preference that like they don't want to watch a made for TV movie
hmm
because the feel is not the same as a big screen blockbuster. And it's kind of like what
yeah.
you're saying. There's no money for special effects, just smaller budgets and everything. A lot of the times, the movies on TV with the smaller budgets have a more, I don't know, like a good time feel to them than they do.
Most of the time, yeah.
of some high action packed blockbuster or something. So
Mhm.
I, as far as Christmas movies go, I guess I don't really have a real preference. I kind of like them both as the same. I love this movie for what it is. I liked Prancer for what it was that we did last year. But at the same time, I also I think Christmas Vacation is hilarious. And you'll
Yeah.
never, that would not pass as a made for TV movie by any means.
It wouldn't, but you could do it on cable. You know
Oh,
what I
you,
mean?
you
I mean,
could.
it would still work out.
Yeah. And in these days, the way they do things, it would definitely be a made straight to stream movie for sure.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure, like
Like some
Netflix,
do.
Hulu.
Right. All
Yeah,
that
for sure.
stuff. But, um, see if we can find us a good question here to toss at you. Let's see here. You know what? Oh no, that might be too personal a thing. Hold on a second. Let's find a different one here. Um, no, that's it. I'm limited on questions. Have you ever had a family conflict during the holidays that felt similar to Ray and Pete's struggles? And that doesn't mean you fought over a girl
Oh,
or something, but I mean it's like I guess like every year when you see that person when it's Christmas time again, the same old argument always comes up or something.
yeah, no,
A lot of
our
families
my
have that.
family. Right, yeah, see, my family, we did all that throughout the year, and then, like, the holiday times was when we were peaceful. We did the
See,
opposite. We fought like cats and dogs the whole other part of the year.
I wouldn't say we fought like cats and dogs, but I would always take every opportunity to aggravate my sister. Just
Mhm.
because that's what brothers and sisters do. That's what I've always said. That's the point I've always
Yeah.
tried to make. I'm not trying to be malicious or mean spirited or anything, but I would tease and aggravate about stuff. But then she'd get mad all about it and everything, and stomp off to the other room or stomp off outside or whatever. Then my mom would be like, "Look what you did now! Now you did it again. You can't be doing stuff like that." I'm like,
Yeah,
I was just being funny with her. Come on.
yeah.
So something like that, I guess, would be my big claim to fame as far as family stuff goes. But a lot of family, there are some families out there that do have these real struggles that are well, I don't say struggles, but real life fights that they can't overcome when
Oh,
they
for
get together
sure.
for
Yeah,
holidays.
there's been, yeah, ruined Christmas, and, there are, so I can't think of any of it happening on the holiday, but I do have extended family that have gotten into it so bad that they stopped showing up for holidays.
Yeah. If
But yeah, sure.
if you could change anything about the movie, would you change something about it? Is there a direction or maybe a theme or maybe another angle involved with it?
Um, for some reason, like I said, so when we did the move over to the town, it kind of took me out of the moment. It kind of took me out of the movie,
Mhm.
even though that part's important. So I don't know. I think I would have liked maybe a little more setup with the town or something instead of just the mayor walking through with the band playing and then getting on. You know what I mean? Like it's or either that or maybe it was just like you said, the fact that it's Bo and Luke Duke. They're the only people in the movie that you really care about. So maybe that. Maybe I would have somehow did a better job of or tried to
Maybe a little
give
bit less
giving them a
town.
little more something with the town.
Maybe they gave it a little less town throughout the movie and a little bit more of it up front in the movie, where
Yeah, something like that.
you
Yeah.
got you got most of your story of what's going on up front.
Mhm.
The middle of the movie is involving nothing but them making the road trip. And then at the end when they contact them and they
Mhm.
come out to help them and then when they're stuck in the snowdrift, that could be more about the townspeople coming out. But maybe not flashing back and forth to the town so much throughout the middle of the movie too for this this just happened, this just breaking
Right.
news for the town or something because we already know the town's in danger of
Yeah.
collapsing.
And
So
what
they
I
could
wanted to know, me and my mom both, we looked at each other and was like, my mom's exact words was, "How did that little shit know they was going to go get her?" Remember, he ordered the he ordered a chicken sandwich with the crust cut off,
right, and
but
it's like and he didn't
before
know her,
they said anything about going to get her.
right, and he didn't know her really. I
Well, he
don't.
did though because her and what's his name, Pete. So Jesse and Pete was dating first, and when he first met her as the waitress, he told her he was raising a teenage son. So he had dated her for a little
Oh
while.
yeah, you're
That's how he
right.
would know him
That is
or know her.
right.
And then in that scene when that first scene where Ray at first met her, the other waitress came out and said that she thought that whatever the chef's cook's name was, thought that cutting the crust off of it was insulting his manhood. So that's where we pulled back, like, okay, well, but then what got us though was when he was ordering them, he ordered the chicken sandwiches without the crust, and his dad turned around and looked at him. But that happened right before Pete decided he was going to
So,
go on the bike to go to her house. You know
all
what I
right,
mean? Like
so
it's like the kid
so
knew that they were going to the house beforehand.
so theory about that then.
Maybe I had a
Um,
feeling.
they were when I keep getting the characters' names mixed up. Which one was the father? Ray?
Pete,
Pete? Pete's the father.
Pete,
All right,
Pete
so
was Bo Duke.
Ray. So Ray is
I mean
driving.
Luke Duke. My
Luke.
bad.
All right, so Ray is driving, and he's having an argument with Pete about who were you calling back there a while ago? He said nobody. I was washing up.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. Well, you sure you weren't talking on the phone to somebody? And he's suspicious already that he's already trying to
Mhm.
get in touch with Jesse because they're going to be going through Vancouver.
Right.
But he finally says, "Oh, you think that because Jesse's in Vancouver that I'm trying to, well, I'm wanting to see her or something, or I'm wanting to take her from you or something like that." And the kid's
Yeah.
listening to all this, so he already has acknowledged beforehand that they're headed in that direction where she's at.
Mhm.
Maybe he bought them in hopes that they were going to go ahead and stop by and get her and pick her up or something.
Right.
I don't know, but I mean,
Maybe.
it could be something along those lines. Um, but yeah, that is definitely a good question for it though. Um,
Oh man.
which if you if you could say which character do you relate to the most? What was that, nerds?
Bean boozled, and I just got dirty dishwater.
For
There's none
those of
back
you
there.
who can't, for those of you who are not watching the video, somebody here is eating jelly beans. It looks like, and he got one of
Yeah.
the bad tasting jelly beans.
Yeah, you got birthday cake and
But
dirty dishwasher, and they both
but
look just alike.
but he ain't
You
stopping
don't know what
chewing
you
on
get.
it though either. So
No, it's not that
he
bad.
must like
It's a little
some
gross.
dirty dishwater.
The other one was birthday cake. It wasn't too bad. To answer your question, though, Ray, 100%.
Ray, 100%. That's who you relate to the most with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I guess being that I was always the good boy or something, I had to relate to the other.
Right.
I had to relate more to Pete, I guess.
That and Bo Duke was my dude, man.
Bo Duke was the
Growing up,
dude.
Bo Duke was out of the Duke boys. Bo was my favorite when I was growing up.
Always the one driving, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But no, the stuff, you know what I mean? The stuff that he did, and he was the wild one, and you know what I mean? Supposedly the wild one. That's what that made me laugh. He said, "You know, you were a good dude when you were a kid. What happened to you?
Yeah. What happened to you? Where'd you go to?
Where'd he go?"
Oh my gosh. Did you do you have any kind of favorite scene from it?
Yeah, probably the end right there when
So
they were in the snowdrift in Alaska, and my man,
Domingo?
they trying to figure out how they're going to get out of it, and then my man taps on the window. He's like, "Hey, Ray goes, hey Pete." He's like, "Well, open the window." So I opened it. You're in Alaska,
Mhm.
in the bank of a snowdrift,
Yeah.
and the mirrors the window down, and you hear, "Hola, I am Domingo, and it looks like you're in need of a midwife." And it's like, what? Now, I don't know about y'all, but the
But he
last
said,
thing I would
but he
expect is to
announces
find
himself. Remember, he announces himself as a shepherd.
Domingo, a shepherd.
I'm
Yeah,
Domingo. I am a shepherd. It appears
yeah.
you are in the need of a midwife.
The
Is
last
it?
thing I personally would expect to see in Alaska is a Mexican. I was like, man,
Especially one that's a shepherd
but
with
right.
sheep.
So
But there's a hidden
that
there's a meaning
from that
behind all of
point,
this.
100%. So from that point, um, that well, that's the scene. That whole point right there, when they went back with him, and um, he picked the boy to help him, and then they got in the fight and everything, and then you know, I mean, it's not like the end of the movie, but it's close to the end. But then it
Close.
wraps back around at the end to give you so it wraps back around at the end to give you the closure from or to let you know what everybody learned from that moment. And the boy, Michael, was it gave you the feeling that he was going to calm down in the future.
Right.
He's like, I helped bring him in. He looked like when the baby was born. He looked at his dad and was like, I did that.
He never
Me
done
and Domingo
anything.
did that.
He said he never done anything that meant something like that before. Nothing that was
Right? Yeah.
important.
Yeah. Yeah.
And suddenly this job was put into his hands by Domingo. You're the one that I need. You're going to be the one to have to do this. It's like you're the only one. And the other two he sends on their way. Well, he sends them on the way to get their differences out of the way, while Michael learns some like responsibility from a job he's just done that was important, and
Right.
it's bringing a life into the world. It's not, it's like a tough thing with a lot of responsibility, and he does his part in helping with it. Um, and of course, there's the whole meaning, the shepherd, which this is gonna. I'm gonna tell you something just a second, just to give you a little reference back to Dukes of Hazzard again. But it's the shepherd minding his sheep. If there's one sheep lost left behind, the shepherd will always go back for the one. I'm sorry, Travis is making the most god awful face right now from a jelly bean. Everybody, if you get a
I spit
chance, I
that one
know
out.
I know you might be listening to this on audio. Go to the
Uh,
webpage www.retrolife, the number 4, the letter U dot
yeah.
com. Click on the show notes and then
Yeah.
look for the video in there, or go to YouTube at our YouTube channel and look
Because
for the video of this and watch
you're gonna
this
have to
goober.
definitely make this a short.
Watch this goober try and eat these jelly beans.
Oh,
Oh my
that one, I
god.
don't know. That one had to be old bandage. It's a new one,
Oh,
and
that's
it
gross.
was absolutely horrible.
Oh, all
Like,
right.
well,
Look,
you just saw me
listen,
spit it out. That was not
listen.
good.
It's bad enough. Have you ever tried the Harry Potter theme, Birdie Bots, every flavored beans?
Right. That's kind of like
That's
bamboozle, bean
exactly,
boozled.
that's what you're
Yeah.
eating basically right now.
Yeah.
And if you look at the flavor of the jelly beans on the Birdie Bots thing, you got puke, you've got boogers, you've got vomit,
Uh,
you got
that one's. Oh
grass.
God, that's the worst one, dude. That one is the worst.
What is it? What is it?
Oh, dude, it's so bad. It's dead fish, and it
What do you
tastes
think
like
it's gonna?
fish oil. Ugh. Well, I was hoping for strawberry banana smoothie. Y'all don't know
I
too
don't.
that's what they do. They got two flavored beans that look identical, or they look the same with the spots and everything, or the color. And then one of them's good, and one of them's something crazy.
We're gonna have to do an
So
episode one night just of Travis eating different jelly beans to see if he gets the
I
right
like
one
it.
or not.
Yeah, so you can get liver and onions or cappuccino. You can get old bandage or pomegranate, which obviously I had old bandage. Dirty dishwasher or birthday cake. I had dishwasher. It was horrible. I ate it though. Then you got stink bug and toasted marshmallow,
Oh my god.
barf and peach, dead fish and a strawberry banana smoothie. And the dead fish is absolutely the worst one I've had out of any of them. And I've ate these a bunch before too. Booger and juicy pear. And to be quite honest, the booger ain't half bad.
Oh
It's just
god.
super salty.
I could have gone without hearing that all night long.
Rotten egg and buttered popcorn. And I think the buttered popcorn's disgusting anyway. So I'll probably be out of luck on both of them. And then stinky socks or tutti frutti, and then toothpaste or berry blue. And that's just what's in here though. They got hundreds of flavors.
Yeah, that is something else. I think I will pass on that. Oh my
Right.
gosh. Oh, but you know
This
what
one's
though?
gonna be barf or
Listen,
peach.
listen. There's you a podcast episode there one night right there. On both ends
Oh,
here, each one of
ugh,
us,
that was
each one of
barf.
us has each one of us has a box of these things. We're pulling one out of to
I
see if
like it.
we get a good one or not. The people would
Toothpaste.
like it.
That's gotta be
I
toothpaste. That's delicious.
the people would like it. I can't say that I would. I really can't. Oh my god, where was I at, man? Oh, let's get to the end of the movie. Get the end
Yeah,
of the
my
movie
bad.
done. So the end of the movie, they get rescued by the people in the town. They come to where they are. They have an idea of where they were because they lost radio contact with them, and the only place they would lose radio contact is this particular stretch of road. So they go looking for them, and they find them in the snowdrift. They dig them out of the snowdrift to get them out. The girls had the baby already, and the doctor's there. And they're talking about how great a job it was in the baby, but they said, "Well, we didn't do it. It was Domingo." They said,
Yeah.
Domingo said, "Yeah, he's a shepherd. He has a house right over there." there's no woods whatsoever anywhere.
Yeah, he said it couldn't be more than 50 yards that way, and when it
Yeah,
shows that way, it's just a barren mountain range.
right, and snow everywhere. So they're like, it did happen that way, didn't it? And the girl's like, yes, it happened exactly like that. We were there. Uh, so they get back to town and they finally get into the back of the truck. There's a surprise in the back of the truck, and this is all Al's doing because he's been wanting Ray's character to do something with his life for a long time because he's been such a screw up, and now this girl's had the baby. He's got responsibilities now. He wants to be back with her. He loves the kid after all when he sees it. But what are they going to do? Where are they going to go? Well, in the back of this truck, and there's a tie-in earlier with the movie of of Ray being a really good chili maker. He's been runner-up in the cross-country chili cook-offs 2 years in a row. He makes some really
Right.
good chili. So in the back, or we should say, well, yeah, in the back of the trailer after you open it up, what's sectioned off by itself in a refrigerated area is a bunch of basically a bunch of beef,
A cooler full of meat.
a cooler full of beef just hanging back there, and there's enough. According to the woman who's one of the main people of the town, she says there's enough meat in there and enough everything else to make a ton of chili with. But why would he send that? And then the kid's like, well, wait a second. He makes great chili. He won this thing like a couple of years ago. He's like, no, I was runner up. He said, but still, he's
Yeah.
like, it's great chili. And the woman's like, wait a second, everybody, wait a second. Are you not understanding this? It's like, we got the makings of a lot of chili. We have a cannery that's closed down.
Right.
We're going to start making chili, and he's going to show us how to do it. And so that's basically saving the town now. The cannery's going to open back up. It's going to go from what it was doing to canning chili instead. He's going to make something out of himself because it's his recipe for the chili, and he's going to get his part of that and helping them make the chili, of course, and produce it and everything. And because he talks to the girl about staying in Willow Creek for a little bit, and they're going to try to make a home there for at least a few months to see how this gets going. And you get the idea they may just end up living there for the long haul or something.
Mm.
You never know. And then, of course, at that point, Pete's walking with his son, and they're getting along together, and they're starting to reconcile and of what maybe drove them apart. Like when the wife left, the wife slash mom left, it kind of put like a dagger in between them or something, and they were
Right.
just too ornery and stupid to see it. And now they both see they have something in common like that, and they're making up. So then he goes and starts telling him all the bad stuff about him when he was in school, so he can give him his laughs that his brother started to tell him. And so you got kind of a little happy, feel good ending of it. Everybody's going to get what they want. The kids got Christmas. The town gets saved. The two brothers reconciled. The one that was always a screw up is now going to make something out of himself. He's going to be a father. He's going to, he's already married. Um, he's going to, help in this town, everything do his part. You assume the other two go back to where they were and make their life there and such. And that's pretty much the end of the movie. And it's just like I said, it's one of those just feel good kind of Christmas flicks. If you want to sit down and watch something like that before the New Year's over, I don't. People usually watch Christmas movies clear throughout the end of the year. By the time this comes out, Christmas would have just passed by a day. So um, it's not like you can watch it before Christmas, but I think you'll love it if you watch it anyway. It's on Amazon Prime. You can watch it on there. If you're a member there, see it for free. It's on Tubi. It's on Pluto. It's on Freevee, I believe it is, and a couple of other places. So you got plenty of places to go watch it at and stream it online if you want to watch it. If you don't want no commercials, I suggest you go to Amazon. No commercials there. So
Yeah.
looks like we're about at the point of wrapping it up. Not going to go ahead and cover anything else in. I think we pretty much hit everything we could hit on it. Um, so if you were first time listening to the podcast, oh, you know what? I'm getting ahead of myself. I got one last thing to say, Travis.
What's that?
One last thing. I told you I had a reference to the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You got basically Bo and Luke Duke driving this big rig, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got their CB radio in there. Do you get the feeling that the shepherd found the lost sheep?
Keep my hand.
Do you get what I'm saying? Do you remember Dukes of
Yeah.
Hazzard? That was their radio bit. They went back and forth with it. Shepherd the lost sheep, shepherd the lost sheep.
Shepherd the lost sheep.
So you end up with Jesse reaching out to the Dukes and everything. And I'm watching this and I'm thinking, this isn't that ironic. You got a shepherd, found him some lost sheep out there. He's about to help out. I thought that was, I wonder if that was
That's a good one.
oh, I wonder if that was a
Easter
little
egg.
poke. Yeah, like an Easter egg kind of thing. That would be if it was, it'd be kind of cool. It'd be the only one probably that I know of, but it's still. Anyway, back to what I was getting at. If you're first time listening tonight, please be sure and follow us on our social medias. We're at Facebook, we're on Instagram at Retro Life for you. It's number 4YOU on those. It's same thing on YouTube. If you go to YouTube at the homepage there and you go to the search and you type at the top, I believe it's www.youtube.com/at retro life for you. It should take you to our homepage there. And you can check out the videos we have in there. We get a lot of videos of some of the previous shows. All of our most recent from this year, I think, are up there. It's the previous season that I was still working on getting things up on. We've got somewhere around 70 episodes up on the YouTube page. I think you can choose from to watch or close to it.
Heck yeah.
But anyway, it's a fairly good sized archive to get back into if you want some things to listen to and catch up on the show and hear some of our thoughts on the other ones. We probably started out a little bit shaky, but I think Travis, we've gotten a lot better as we go.
We have.
If you have any questions or comments or anything, retrolife4you at gmail.com is where you can reach us. And you want to call and say what movie you would like to see us do or any thoughts on this particular movie, or say that you think Travis should eat all the bad jelly beans at one time so we can see the look on his face when he chews them up. I mean,
that might be neat.
that might be something we can do. So anyway, Travis, anything you want to add before we go today, or are we not prepared for any kind of?
Well, I mean,
Well, we did a Christmas joke last week. I mean,
yeah,
you know.
that's what I say. You know what? I got a couple, man. It's just like do you know how to tell a Santa Claus is in your room, kids? You can just sense his presence.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
And you have another one you said?
Yeah. You know what they call people? Like if you do find yourself in a room with Santa Claus and you get scared, there's a name for that.
What's that?
Claustrophobic.
Oh my god! I gotta get out of here.